This is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Park, and we've been here before, but not for a while. Almost 3 years ago when I first got here. I've been here before, but I haven't talked about it since then, so let's see if anything has changed. So this is Martin Luther King Park, and envisioning the future of the park, it talks about how they're redesigning this park to honor the legacy of Martin Luther King as far as social and environmental justice go. And that might seem like a stretch, you know, we're re-landscaping a park in an affluent corner of a mostly white small city. But on the other hand, I believe anything positive we can do for our communities, and that is what they're trying to do here, that's a win, and I think that is in the spirit of Martin Luther King. Obviously, I can't give an entire lecture on the history of social change in the United States, but hey, it works for me. Anyway, I'm going to continue to walk this way. A few days ago, I made a video where I talked about how August is a dead zone in Oregon. If you look around here, things still look pretty green, and I'm guessing that's due to two things. Irrigation in some parts of this park, and we do have a creek here. So there is a water source, even if it's low right now, there is still some water. So we have green trees. So it feels a little bit more pleasant than some parts of the city that are really yellow right now. So this is the main path, paved, very wide, good for bicycles, also ADA compliant. And it goes up the hill through the park. And then off to the side, we have smaller paths, and they kind of wind through places. Some kind of hidden treasures here, and this can show us more of what the creek looks like. As I said, that creek is not moving very fast. That is a very low creek, but that is providing water, and you can see things look dense in there. Notice though that even though things are very green, it's really silent. In spring, autumn, even in the middle of winter, you'd probably hear a lot of birds chattering, making noise, songs. And I saw two birds, but it's pretty quiet. Also, towards the entrance to the park, there was a lot of cars. You probably saw some people. Notice that here, I haven't passed anybody since leaving the entrance to the park. Very still, quiet day on this path. Although, as you can see, not totally empty. I'm also not totally sure, but I think the last time I was here, these houses were under construction, so they've been built in the past year or two whenever I was here last. And I believe this path was also gravel, and now this is paved. I'm not sure about that. Sometimes our memories can play tricks on us. Through here we just have a wall of hawthorn. It actually could have been planted. Looks very regular. Hawthorn is common, but it's like a regular wall, and that is one thing that people do with hawthorn. And then overhead we have Oregon ash, which is a very common plant in Oregon, especially along stream courses. Well, this is almost definitely not here. I remember the construction site, but no, there wasn't homes here. And like I said, at this point, any housing is good housing. Don't know the complete story of who lives here, what type of development there is, but here there's housing, and here, just a little bit ahead, is the end of the path. So if I could look beyond those trees, we're actually pretty close to Dimple Hill, and Dimple Hill took me a long time to climb, but like from here, it's like 3,000 or 4,000 feet in a straight line. This is a private road, so I can't go down it, but I believe if you look right behind it, you can actually access a path that goes up to Dimple Hill, the Oak Creek part of McDonald Dunn Forest. But today we're not going to do that because we can't. So we're just going to walk back and continue back into the park. So I'm going off on this side path, which again, last time I was here, this was like gravel or dirt. Let's see what's in this part of the park over here. That is some quite heavy and green growth. That makes me think there's like a high water table or something here. And even this is pretty green. maybe this is from irrigation, but I think this is just naturally a place that conserves its moisture. And also, maybe that part was always paved, and I was just remembering this gravel path. Anyway, there's a lot of little side trails in this park. This looks like a side trail of the side trail, and sometimes I say don't do this, don't get lost and cause more erosion, but this looks like this is a regular trail. Don't think I've been here before, so let's follow it, see where this goes. So this park is more than a neighborhood park where there's like a basketball court and a playground, but it's not really quite a natural park. At least that's what I would say 10 minutes ago. Now, where I'm walking through now, I do feel this is kind of a natural park. Although that's deceptive. We are really not that deep in the woods here. Or are we? We are also here at the driest part of summer, last week of August. Makes me wonder what an area like this would be like in the middle of the wettest part of winter or spring. And it would probably be very beautiful and interesting, but also much more difficult. And here, as I anticipated, we are leaving the natural part of the park and we're back into the yard part of the park. A wild coyote up there. Oh, I'm just going to walk back to the road and then continue on. This was just a brief trip around what is basically, or should be, a neighborhood park, but that it's far enough away that I don't really have a chance to visit it a lot. So here, along the border of the park, on a fence, there's a sign, and I've seen these signs around town. Progress today at MLK, making the park worthy of his legacy. That's a really noble sentiment, but also it's like, this is a neighborhood park where people come to walk their dogs, and we should improve it, but like, is Martin Luther King really that disappointed that we have this busted up picnic table in his park? I don't know. I mean, to me it seems a little bit overblown to say that, even though I like the project. Okay, well, we're just going to continue, and I'm going to leave pretty soon. So one thing for me personally, when I first got to Corvallis 3 years ago, on this Friday, that'll be the anniversary, I was just stunned and amazed by all the new places I had to go, even though I was pretty familiar with the area. And so for my first month, I would just go wherever, and it was all as a revelation. And also that's why some of my first videos here were kind of bare, is because just 20 seconds of random shaky cell phone video to me was worth commenting on, or worth taking, worth posting. And so now, you know, I've been here for 3 years, just a little bit jaded, but I also understand things better in context. So this is just a look around town. There's a little bit of fatigue with me this summer. Not quite so excited to go places. And there will be some updates about that, but for now, I hope you enjoyed this Tuesday afternoon. Nice park. Corvallis has a lot of nice parks, and it's nice that they're commemorating a great leader. So that's that is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Park, and I'm going home this way somehow. Oh, and that up there, that's Dimple Hill. Pretty close, but pretty far from here.